Hi guys. I'm so sorry I'm late, guys. Technical difficulties. I had a hard time finding my earbuds, and that's basically the only way you guys can hear me. And I could not find them. And these are my fill-in earbuds because my daughter called to tell me a couple weeks ago that she was on the subway in Hungary and her case must have fell out of her backpack.
Not on the
So
subway
I,
in Hungary.
oh, what?
She wasn't hungry. She was in Hungary.
Yeah, her earbud case fell off of her backpack or whatever it was, she had no way to charge them. She uses them for class. So like the good mom that I am, I sent her my ear, Apple earbuds or whatever they're called. So I bought me a pair. That's these that you guys always see fall out, and I can't get them to stay in my ear for the life of me. So anyways, guys, I have diced up pork steak. I get pork steak because my mom has always told me the bone adds more flavor, so I cook it with the bone. So get your pork steak diced up, add some oil to your pan. Pork steak, pork chop, pork loin, all the porks work the same. I mean, honestly, one maybe add a little more flavor, but they all work. You can just grab pork, dice it up into pieces. Sometimes I do them tiny, like this little bit. But if we have like a lot of people over, then I might do them, like cut that in half just so that it goes further. Or, I mean, if it's just me and Joe, sometimes I do them this big. It's just a matter of the size I want that day. Salt, pepper, garlic. That's what I do. That's what I fry my pork with. While that's in the pan, another thing is that you can have with this is the rice that you made on the side of it, a can of pinto beans, and then doctor them up, throw some garlic powder in it, maybe a little bacon grease in it. I personally like calabaza with beans and everything with it. But Joe had calabaza, which is squash, and he just wasn't a fan of it. He just said, yeah, that's not my forte. And I said, until you've had my calabaza. We make squash like that's a Mexican thing we eat every winter. You guys like my ring light? Hi, guys. Oh, my God, I look crazy. Anyways, yeah, this is the light. If I look cray-cray, I can do this. No worries. How about I just switch tones? Hey. Isn't that the cutest? Hey, Gabby, how are you? Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I love it. I love the light. Anyways, oh my gosh, you also can see all my sweat. Let me wash. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that with my hands. Okay, so to this, I'm going to add, that's okay. To that, I personally like diced onions. It's whatever your kids or your husband will get away with. This is that dish. Because I'll add, if I had the kids here, I probably would just add tomato sauce. I wouldn't add diced tomatoes. You can open the tomatoes for me too, baby. But because Joe and I love, just chunkiness. We also do hatch peppers. Oh, I thought I just saw it. Did I take it out?
She likes chunkiness.
Too? What? Oh, you don't like chunky?
I went up there and did this.
Oh, I like chunky.
This is the one? Diced tomatoes?
Yes. So once your meat is getting to you'll know. You'll definitely want to cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Your pork needs to be cooked all the way through. But you're also going to let it hang out once you add your calabaza. Let me show you how I did the calabaza, guys. You can use calabaza. They actually sell calabaza, and then I use zucchini or calabaza, whichever one has a better price. So you wash it off, and then it looks like that. Then you can cut that in half. Ooh, you can't see that. And then cut it again. And then when you cut it again, you can cut it into smaller ones. We like big chunks. Oh, I'm so glad. How did you like the Alfredo sauce that you made? Oh, I'm so happy you made the Alfredo sauce. I really am. And my nieces made the rice. My other niece made the tortillas. That makes me feel so good. Because I mean, I probably, like I said, we are retired, but I cook at home all the time just because. What else does a retired person got to do? And I'm in an RV, which it doesn't limit any of the things that we do. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but it's just a fifth wheel. So I'm blessed. I'm by any means. I don't want you guys to make me feel like, oh, I'm just. I mean, I'm beyond blessed to be able to be retired and to cook dinner for my husband. Okay, here's our calabaza. I'm so happy. She said it was delicious.
Good.
I'm so happy, Gabby. Okay, here it is, guys. Once your meat is 90 to 95% done, you're going to add your squash. And has anybody ever had calabaza before? Like, I've made zucchini bread. Joe has never had the zucchini cooked like this and actually liked it. So he was a little apprehensive. But I mean, Mexicans got a way of like making things taste good. So like, even if you say like, well, no, I tried liver with him. Nope, was not a fan, but that's okay because I'll eat enough for him and me. So, can you guys see that incorporated? I'm gonna bring you guys a little bit further. Ah, I lost them. I know you were telling me be careful. Let me finish. I don't want to put this until you get back on. Sorry, guys. Got it. This is a new one. Okay, so canned tomatoes. Sauce. Instead, I just need it aimed a little bit more further down, baby. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So I add the tomatoes and tomato sauce in it. This is going to be a dish that you're going to cover because you need the moisture in the zucchini to come alive. That's like what your ideal you want when you know it's ready. Is your calabaza is chunked up like that. Some people put corn in it. So we have hatch peppers. They're called 505 Southwestern. They're hatch chilies. They're spicy. How do you say it? Like a hatch peppers from New Mexico, Hatch, New Mexico.
The most unique.
I had never had them. Yeah, they're the most unique pepper. I had never had them until we moved to this side of the country, and then we happened to be back home one day, and Family Fare had a special that it was like they were promoting hatch season because it's like they only grow them during a certain time of year. Hi, Brandy. So they only grow them during a certain time of year, and during that time of year, that's the only time they get the flavor that they have. But they're spicy with their own distinct. They're not like a poblano pepper, they're not like a jalapeno pepper. They're like long, skinny ones, like a skinny. And then I personally will put them on the fire, and then I toast them, and then I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I sweat them out, and then I peel off the outside skin, and I use them fresh. I buy the 505 because, like I said, they're only in season a certain time of year, but we eat them like they're going out of style. Let me grab a lid, you guys.
Just now.
Is it season right now?
August till late September.
Do you know where my large? I think I need my bigger lid. I don't know where that is.
I got it.
Yeah, so when we run out, I stick them in the freezer, I stick them in the fridge, but I actually run out, and then this one, thank you. This is the one that I found was the most. They sell them in the freezer section, too. I think you saw them at Meijer's. They're called Hatch, New Mexico. Remember we bought them? They were in a container. Yeah, so I think they're just called Hatch peppers. Okay, let me get water, guys. Sorry. Water. So, this would be great with rice, pinto beans, a can of pinto beans. Let's say this is pinto beans. Pull it back. Leave the juice that's in it. If you want to take a little out, that's fine, but leave majority of it. Grab a saucepan, pour them in there. Let them warm up because you're going to smash them, and they're best to smash when they're warmed up. Get some garlic powder. This is my friend because I love it so much. As a matter of fact, let's add more. Okay, you're going to add garlic and salt to your can of pintos that are on the saucepan. Let it put on low for like maybe 7 minutes, and then the beans will start being warm, and they're a lot easier to smash. This is your mashed potatoes smasher, but Mexican people use it as our bean masher. It will mash the heck out of your beans. That's exactly what they make over at restaurants, except for they put theirs in a blender and they leave them sometimes with a lot of liquid in it, and that's why they're so runny. That's it. Just and there's some that like I think I bought pinto beans from like Myers, canned pinto beans. Who's the jar? I bought a jar of them too. But you can literally just any can of pinto beans, especially with this, because it's going to have a sauce that goes with that calabaza and the pork have, and it's like such a good flavor that it will actually, if you put it on the same plate, this juice will just flow into the beans. Grab it up with a tortilla. I'm telling you, you will go to another dimension of life. I'm just kidding. It's really good though, bro. I'm gonna add cominos because I like cominos the way the flavor is. My mom can't eat them, so a lot of times I forget to cook with them because if she's eating. But cominos, garlic, salt, pepper. I mean, and honestly, I would start with a heavy shake of garlic when you're doing your meat. So that way when your calabaza starts getting tender, it's going to absorb the flavor from the carne around it. I'm going to show you guys once it gets going a little more because it looks so pretty. All right, I'm going to show you guys right now. So that way you guys can have an idea of what the difference is. See, there's the onion. There's a little piece of onion and tomato. That's stuff that you guys don't have to have. You guys can either use onion powder. You guys can use tomato sauce. There's a tomato. There's the onion. You can make it with just tomato sauce, onion powder, garlic powder. I like the onion flavor. There's the calabaza.
What do you set your flame on?
Put the fire on medium high. You can put it on medium now that squash is in there and your meat's done. I normally don't add any broth. If I add a little tiny bit of water because all these squash in here are going to make the liquid that you need. So if you want to add a little more because you like, I know some people make like a sopa with it and they'll actually put like 2 cups of liquid and then they season that like a broth, like a soup, and it's like a calabacita soup. I've done that too because Joe really, really likes the calabaza. Once he had them, he loves them. One week when we were in Michigan, just it was cold or something, and I think I made it like 3 times in 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really likes them a lot.
So the dogs? Yeah. Puppies.
They're not allowed in the kitchen, so they sit out there in the hallway, all sad. But oh, look. I was going to show them the cake. Where did I put the cake? In here?
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's right there. It's right here. Where could it be? I did this today, guys. I made a chocolate cake. I didn't have any cake mix, but I was watching, who's that that holiday? The guy the cooking, the British cooking. So I'm watching the British cooking, and I love the guys. They're funny, and they're just very, very, they're funny. And I was like, God, man, that they made it look like a chocolate sponge, and then they added like an icing in it. Basically, it was a homemade Swiss cake roll. And I'm like watching it, and I'm like, oh man, that looks good. I wonder how hard that would be. And I'm like, I knew I had no cake mix or nothing. So I came in here and I was like, okay, well, I know I have flour and I know I have sugar and I have Hershey's cocoa. And I was like, I just made it. And I don't know what it's going to taste like, but it's going to make me happy because after watching that show I watched like 3 episodes, and I was like, man, how hard can it be? I don't have exact measurements because I have only like 1.5 cups of flour, so I did the other 1/2 cup in Hershey's cocoa. And I make homemade brownies, so I just had to add more eggs because it was going to be more of the cake consistency versus the brownies. So anyways, let me let you guys scope it out. Was I going to add anything else to it? I know I've added corn before for you, but I forgot and ate corn for lunch. I had the 1 can of corn I had. I ate corn for lunch today. And I was like, oh, why would I only buy 1 can of corn? But I was going to make your calabaza.
Oh, well, there you go. Thanks a lot.
I know, I'm sorry.
Hope you enjoyed them.
Let me show you guys. I'm going to put it on low now. Ooh, my earbud's falling out. Oop.
Oh, again.
They both went, one almost went in the soup. Okay, I'm going to show you guys this again. Let me make sure this is, I got it. Okay, all right, I'm going to show you what this looks like. And honestly, I might add a little liquid because I know that Joe does like, um, Joe likes it a lot. Joe likes it a lot. So even if there's no meat in there, Joe will keep eating. Do you want beans with it, babe, or do you want just this?
Just this one.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yep. Okay, so I would start with like a half a cup of water. Don't start with much because these are these are not done yet. I'm gonna bring them over here to you. The calabasas are not done yet, so I don't want to add more until, because if I add too much, then once the ones that you can see the ones that are not done yet. And when you add water, guys, remember you're added more liquid, so your flavor is now off. So you're gonna put a little more salt, and that also goes if you put too much salt, add a little water so you can dilute it a little bit. All right, garlic powder because life is good with garlic. All right. Tortillas that we made last week, guys, perfect with this. Perfect. Rice that we made would be perfect with this too. I'm going to put the lid on it. I'm going to give it about another 15 minutes, and then dinner will be ready. Like I said, omit the tomatoes if you don't want them. And actually, when I serve Joe, I like them to brew with it. But when I serve Joe, he really is not a big fan of. They just make him burp a lot or some weird thing it does to him, so he doesn't rather not have them. He'd rather just have the calabaza with the carne. So I keep them off for me. I mean, I love them to brew in there together because it is actually adding to the flavor of it. But you don't have to. I mean, if you want to pick them out for your kids, pick them out for your husband so they don't have them if they don't like them. It definitely makes the dish taste good with it. If you want to do just the tomato sauce instead of the diced tomatoes, here we see. See, it's diced tomatoes. You guys can do tomato sauce instead. But I think what we're going to do, we kind of made, I don't know if anybody's seen the page, is we are starting a hashtags. Like if I'm doing food lives, if anybody wants to just see food lives, you can go to the top of our page, hit the food, it says live food or food, cook food or food cooking or something like that. And it'll be all of the demonstrations when I went live to make a food. Other ones will be a tutorial or going to restaurant reviews. I do that one as well. Oh my God, did you guys see the pictures of the crab and everything? It was phenomenal. It was everything that was great, all with some garlic, and the sauce was considered lemon, pepper, garlic, and Cajun sauce, like a flavoring. And then they ask you your heat level. You want mild, medium, or high. We went medium, and it was
shrimp and
crab legs and shrimp and red potatoes and corn. We make that before. The kids, I mean, Drew's had a couple of friends over, and Destiny's had a couple of friends over, and we've done like a shrimp boil like that, and we put paper on all the table, and then we pour out all of them with like Old Bay seasoning and everything. And it's phenomenal. We pour it right on the table with no plates, and then we melt butter, and we have our little containers We eat the shrimp. I mean, it looks so cool because it's just a mound of it. But that there's like 6 of us. You know, our family of 4 plus Drew and Destiny will have a friend over. But what I was gonna say is, we're gonna do like a football series. It's gonna be one of them's gonna be holiday, where I'm gonna do stuff that you do when you have the company over. Like, I'm going to do my pumpkin roll. What did I said? I'm going to do a French toast casserole. So basically, it's like a pan versus it's French toast, but it's in a pan. It's more stuff that you have when you have company over for the holidays. That's why I was calling it the holiday series. It's not stuff that are like all pumpkin-y. It's stuff that you have people over, you have company over. I might even do a coffee cake because you have company over for Thanksgiving or you have company over during the holiday season. I'm going to do a quiche. I'm gonna do a quiche. I'm gonna do French toast casserole quiche. I had the whole list of the things I was gonna do, but then we're also gonna do a football series, and that one's gonna be the finger foods. Joe's gonna make the homemade pizza with like the crust. It's sounds like huge, but it's like a crust that he makes homemade, and then it sits in the fridge because that's like the yeast growing or something. And then the next day, you actually just kind of like put it on your pan, and it tastes like the crust if you don't like it, but it's a crust that you cook in the oven at like 500 degrees. It's like a real quick crust, so you cook it a little bit before for like 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, you're putting just the toppings on it. We're gonna do Southwestern egg rolls. We're gonna do his chicken chili, my chili. We do regular egg rolls. We do wontons. So we kind of want food that you would either do on Sunday. So that's why we wanted to start it now. So if anybody's like you're going to have company over, they're going to watch a game, even if it's a Saturday game or a Sunday game, we're going to do those during the week. We're trying to figure out if we want to have it on the set day. So that way, if you guys are busy or something, and you guys are like, oh, I didn't get it, I'm not watching, I watch the replays or whatever, you'll know that by Friday night, we will have the football food that series or that week's one and that week's recipe up. Joe does a lot of them. Homemade corn dogs. We're gonna do a chili cheese, not a chili cheese. It's a hatch chili, and then so I do a cheese sauce. We do homemade fries, a cheese sauce, and then the other one's like a hatch pepper. A hatch pepper. I can't even see my gravy. Yeah, thank you. It's a hatch pepper gravy. So check out. Ow, that's hot. Check out the store when you go to see if they have any hatch peppers, because so you can use them. But they also sell them in cans. We're gonna do a hatch pepper. You dice onion, dice garlic, or whatever, and it's like you put that separate from the cheese and their fries that are homemade, and it marries together. It's like almost like a nachos, except for fries with the cheese sauce homemade, and then your hatch gravy. So really, really good. I want to give you guys one more look before I head out, so you guys can see. When you guys make it, this is ideally
Put it up to it.
this whole thing.
No. Yeah, you can do that too.
All right. I just don't want it to fall into my food. See that, guys? Woo woo! Bring it on. See, the peppers or the zucchinis get a little bit more transparent, and I will actually leave it until the calabaza is like falling apart. I like it like that. The meat gets more tender the longer you leave it on the stove. So only good things happen the longer it's on the stove. But you can eat it like this. I would definitely taste it before you serve it. Taste the consistency of the garlic, of the salt, and then put your lid back on. Check it out. But that's it, guys. This is our calabaza with pork. Some people do the calabaza with chicken also, which is really good too. Joe likes pork, so I make it like this. Yeah, I think that's it, right, baby?
Yeah, I'll probably
We're gonna do. We're trying to figure out if people we want to do a Cash App or a Venmo when we get to 500, mainly so we can get yeah, just wrap that or put it in a Ziploc baggie. Mainly so we can, we want everybody to share this so we can get to 500 members. Once we get to 500 members, that's when we want people to be able to, like, if we do $40 or whatever, they can buy the ingredients to make it. So that's what we're hoping for. Share the video. We'd really appreciate it. Hit the like button. We'd really appreciate it.